Hello, and thank you for attending SAGE Alerts and Workflow video-based training. Please note that this is video-based training, and content is for training purposes only and intended for new and existing SAGE Alerts and Workflow customers.
Hi, this is Russ Lesko, and we're going to look today at designing an event and building into that event an email alert. Let's go to our system that we've been using in these videos, and I'm going to go to an application event over here on the left called ERP2 applications. And we're going to look at an event that I've created and show you the various parts of this event as it relates to building an email alert. So as I open up the event itself, you'll see here that I actually have two deliverables. I have a crystal report that is going to be created, but also an email that is going to be generated as well. So let's take a look at the email screen itself, and these are all the basic fields that are available to you to be able to build and construct your email message. On the top here are going to be some fields that can be added. These are just a number of different fields that the Alert and Automation tool provides to you to be able to use for various purposes, if you're going to be using date fields or anything of that nature. At the end of this group, there's going to be a 4 fields, or 4 commands, I should say, that may affect you, may be used, particularly if you are constructing an email. Those 4 are on the bottom here. You see begin and end HTML, and begin and end repeat, and we'll talk more about that in just a few moments. Another thing that's very important is that you do have your email account set up in the Alert and Automation tool, and you select one and you've validated it and tested it and so forth. Setting it up and everything would be done over here on the left in the admin function under services. Email accounts would be set up, and I would suggest tuning into another video we have on the administration aspects of the Alert and Automation tool so that you're comfortable with being able to set up that email account. Now, depending on the type of email you're going to be creating, you may want to have an email reply address. So this just happens to be orders that are over a certain amount of dollars, but there could be other emails that you're going to send out that the customer may need to reply to, or wherever the addressee is may need to reply to. Now, if they reply to that email, it's going to go to the basic email account that you have set up to send emails out within the Alert and Automation tool. However, if you are not going to do that, but you rather have the email go out to a specific individual, then you would build that individual's email account into the query itself. For example, let's say they're sending out a notice about late invoices, and you add to that query the salesperson that's responsible for that account, and you put the salesperson's email in the query itself. Then you can actually use the salesperson's email as the actual place where that reply is going to go from that customer. So you see, it is optional, it's not required, but it really just depends on the type of email alert you're going to send out, and if you're going to expect the customer, supplier, whoever to reply to that email. You can direct it in different ways by this field here. All right, so the main talk is really going to be here in the body of the email. This is a very simple email where I have built into the query a certain threshold on the number of dollars that the customer has entered an order for, and I'm going to be simply listing the fields here. That's going to be in the body of the email. You could type in the introduction to the email, the heading of the field itself, where you see the curly type of parentheses. They will come from these fields up here, which are the fields that have been returned from your query. You might remember in query design, and we looked at potentially returning a certain field from your ERP database, but you could rename that field to make it a little bit more less technical and a little bit more recognizable. And that's one of the areas where you would see that customized name up here, so it's easy to know which field you're grabbing. But in any event, these are the fields that are returned from the query, and you could just click on them while your cursor is at the field location here, and they would go into the body of the email. Now, you see two of those commands that I talked about a moment ago here, one at the beginning of the group of data points or data information that we're going to send out in this email, and then one at the end. So what I'm intending to do by doing this is to have one email go out, which is going to list all of the orders that have been entered over $20. So I'm not going to have one email for each individual order. I'm going to have one email listing all of the orders that meet this criteria of the query. So let's say I have 20 orders that are over the amount that I put in. I'm going to have one email with a list of 20 orders. Now, if I choose to delete these commands and not use them, then I will have one email for each one of those 20 orders. So it's really up to your preference in terms of the type of email that's being created for whatever subject matter, et cetera, but certainly if you are going to have multiple lines that have been returned from the query or returned from the trigger, you may want to just have one email like shown here. Now that's one way in which you can kind of build the email table itself with the begin repeat and end repeat, and not having it will also have one email going out for each order. Another possibility is going to be to have one email go out listing the orders, but let's suppose that individual is going to just want the orders that they're interested in. For example, the salesperson. We mentioned that the salesperson is part of this query. And back on query design, if you were sorting based on the salesperson, then you would be able to do a grouping here and be able to have one email go out with all the sales orders that are just that particular salesperson is responsible for. And that would be done over here in the subscriber section. And there's, we'll go into this a little bit more in a minute, but one part of the advanced subscriber methodology would be to have a message break. This means, I'm going to do one email, it's going to have a number of orders, but when it gets to another salesperson, it's going to create another email just for that other salesperson. So based on the sorting criteria that we would do over in the query itself, which was covered in a prior video, I would just basically be able at this point to put the salesperson as the message break. And what would happen then, that email would in turn at that point be one email with all the orders, but all the orders that salesperson is responsible for. So you've got 3 salespeople in your organization, you'll have 3 emails going out as part of the deliverable. One other thing as well, if you prefer to do some if you use a HTML editor or something of that nature, you'll see that as we are preparing this message, we also have it in an HTML format. As you can see, and you could perhaps potentially have an HTML editor offline from the alert and automation tool where you can kind of prepare your HTML format and then simply cut and paste it into here. If you do that, by the way, you would need to be sure that you use those other two messages that were here, particularly the messages begin HTML and end HTML. They're at the end of this scroll, so I won't. So that's how you would use the other two, begin HTML and end HTML. But again, if you're doing it that way and just cutting and pasting it in, then you'd be fine. The other things to keep in mind down below is your ability to be able to attach a report. So as you can see, part of my deliverable up here is a report, and I want that report attached to that email when it goes out. I could be creating a file, maybe an Excel spreadsheet or some file that contains this data that I'm pulling in from the query. I could have that attached as well. So these are just going to be options here that I can create when this email is set to go out. The rest of this really gives you some ability to create tables and do various kinds of annotations and bolding and so on and so forth and formatting if you're going as you are completing and preparing the body of your email. So again, keep in mind, very important to make sure that you have an email account set up. That if you do not, there are obviously going to be no emails going out, and that would be done over here in admin. And look for our other videos as far as the admin functions and what you do over here. And you have, again, if you are listing multiple lines or multiple triggers of data like orders, a list of orders or something like that, then be sure to remember to use the begin repeat or end repeat if you want to keep everything on one email. If you want an individual email for each item that was triggered, remove the begin repeat, remove the end repeat, and keep in mind over here with subscribers, you have your standard set of subscribers that you can choose from that the email can go out to. And if you go to the advanced, if you do want an email or a message break to basically send, let's say, 3 salespeople 3 different emails just with their orders on it, then you would use the message break based on the sorting that you've set up for that particular field. Thank you very much for your time, and good luck with the alert and automation tool.
Thank you for attending Sage Alerts and Workflow video-based training.